This is so good, how lovely. 7 months, $2,000, that's the time and money it cost me to get this piece of plastic that says I can drive. I'm Naka, this is Japatonic, and today I'll share what it's like to get a driver's license in Japan. Well, first of all, since I'm a beginner, I have to put on the beginner marks, and one has to go here. The other must go on the car's back. Alright, here it goes, little magnet. So yeah, I have to use this for a year, so that's that. The car belongs to Jordy, so let's hope I don't crash his car, especially since it's the first time I'm going to drive after getting my license, so let's hope I don't crash it. The brake is so short. Now that the car is on...
Now it has more range. I was surprised. I was like, I don't know what he's talking about now.
I have a manual license, so driving automatic feels strange. Oh, but the brake sensitivity kills me. Yeah, no, this brake's really hard. It feels so strange to me. The thing is, I don't know how much I'll be able to talk because right now I'm really focused on driving.
How do you see yourself?
The pedals feel weird and the accelerator seems very stiff. Damn, the brake is really sensitive. But the brake is very sensitive.
Careful, there are kids over there.
So I have to step on them, right?
Exactly. They deduct points or give you points if you hit them.
Well, the thing is, yes, it took me 7 months to get my driver's license. Basically, when I started, it was around August, and I didn't get my license until March. Yeah, mid-March. About 325,000 yen, which is a little over $2,000. Let's see, there are 20 theory classes and 30 practical classes, and first you have to take 10 theory classes, which is just attending classes in a classroom with many other people. And after taking 15 practical classes, then you'll be given a theoretical and practical exam. Because the first theoretical and practical classes are inside the driving school, inside the school's track. Once you've taken the first 15 practical classes and taken the exam and all that, that's when you can practice on the street, always, obviously with the instructor. After taking 30 practical driving classes, you kind of feel like you can drive, but of course you're always with the instructor. Yeah, and therefore you always have that security that he'll tell you what you need to do, what you shouldn't do, what you're doing wrong and what you're doing right. But you know, already driving alone on the street, and obviously it makes you a little nervous. Because honestly, I drove for a very short time in Argentina, really little time. I drove for 2 months in Argentina. And honestly, I took driving lessons there when I was 19, I think, but honestly, they didn't teach me very well. The instructor wasn't very good. He kept saying, you're going to break the car. I thought, oh God, just teach me properly.
Did the instructor in Argentina have pedals or not?
Yes.
And in Japan too?
Here too. The instructor doesn't have their own steering wheel, but they do have the pedals. They have them. The school gives you everything, right? For those $2,000, you get all the theory and practical classes, which is a lot of money. But let's be honest, you realize it's worth it, right? Because there are a lot of practical classes where it's a car and an instructor just for you. Now you absolutely have to go to driving school. Because the ones who give you the driver's license are the people at the police traffic center. There, you're going to take an exam. It's only theoretical. But for that, you have to present your graduation papers from the driving school, right? For example, you can come with an international license and validate your license to drive in Japan. If you've got your license in your country and now live in Japan, you can switch it. That was your case, right, Hordy?
I only needed the official translation, stamped by a notary or someone from the traffic department.
You submitted it, took a 4-hour class with a mini written exam, and there was no practical test. That's just Spain. Other countries like the United States have their own rules. The United States skips the written test but requires a practical one.
Look, for example, Akira from Japan Kemu, he didn't take a written test, only a practical one, which he failed many times. Because the problem was that since he hadn't taken driving lessons in Japan, he didn't know all the rules and didn't know what they were looking for. The people who give you the tests, for example, he used to drive with just one hand, and the fact is that's wrong. Keep your arms at 10 and 2, and when you use the turn signal, move your head. In driving lessons, they tell you that before turning on the turn signal, first you have to look, then turn on the signal. Also, the test administrators don't tell you what you did wrong. Therefore, he kept repeating the same mistakes over and over until he met people who knew and told him what he was doing wrong. All the theoretical classes are given in Japanese. It's basically going through the manual they give you. I mean, it's 20 chapters, so you go through the first 10 chapters. A 50-minute class, and the driving lessons are also 50 minutes long. That's right. You bring the book, the teacher explains and reads. He goes through the manual and explains if there's anything that needs explaining. And basically, it's about highlighting with a marker the important parts that are useful for studying or that you need to keep in mind. And the two theoretical stages are basically the same, the first 10 chapters and the second 10 chapters. The driving lessons are on the track, where you can drive up to second gear at most. You can't use third gear inside the school's track because there you're not supposed to have any kind of license. When you take the first practical and theoretical exam, that's when they give you your learner's permit, for which allows you to drive on the street, but always accompanied by an instructor. On the island, on the street, well, you drive, and I only drove once at 60 kilometers per hour, which is the maximum speed you can drive outside the highway. The instructors are super friendly, and it's also very funny because as soon as you sign up, you go to a talk where they explain how the whole driving course works. And they tell you, let me be clear, all the instructors here are friendly, won't scold you, and encourage you to ask questions. I appreciated them clarifying this, since I'd heard driving schools had a reputation for strict or mean instructors. Like, you're going to stop here, things like that. Or, for example, stop here and you stop, but you can't stop here. Here, there's a no stopping sign, things like that, right? And no, they don't do that to you here. Everyone is super, extremely friendly. Well, that's good. I did it close to home. And also, the good thing is that it also had, it was near my area. The school has several minibuses that run every hour, and you can wait there for the minibus, which is a van. They pick you up, take you to school, and drop you off near the stop when you return. If the route is convenient, use it. If not, take the train. And well, the driver's license, when you're a beginner, it only lasts 3 years. Well, not 3 years, but rather it lasts until your third birthday. I mean, you have to renew your license when your third birthday comes, or up to a month before until a month after. After that, though, it lasts 5 years, although if you don't have any tickets, but yes, it can be every 5 years, I think. But if you do have tickets, I think the time you have to renew gets shorter. The green one, which lasts 3 years, referring to the part with the green expiration date. Jordy has blue, which is 5 years, and there's the golden one, where it's written in gold. You said it's 10 years, which is a long time.
10 years or 5 without any fines or any problems with the police.
And well, since I got my driver's license, I got my Times Rent Car membership. With this, I can rent cars using the app anywhere in the country. And that's good because it's, let's see, yes, this is a service for residents because if you're coming as a tourist, you have to book online or whatever, go to an office. But you have to get this with your Japanese license, and with this you can search in the app for where there are Times Company parking lots and cars enabled with the app. Reservations, and boom, you can borrow a car. Well, the thing is that you have to give the theoretical exam available in Japanese or English. I wanted to take it in Japanese, and honestly, it was really hard for me and I just couldn't pass it. And this is the exam I took at the school, so I tried taking it in English, but it was also difficult for me in English and I failed it many times. With the practical exam, honestly, there was no problem at all. What do they value most in street practical exams? Is that whenever you pass a zebra crossing, a pedestrian crossing, if there's someone standing there, you have to stop to let the person pass. Like always giving priority to the pedestrian. That's like the most important thing in the practical exam. But well, yes, obviously they evaluate everything. Now the final theoretical exam, which is at the police driving office, there, luckily you can take it in Spanish if they offer it in Spanish, which isn't every day, but you can find it. Well, I was able to take the final theoretical exam in Spanish, which is something you can't do in Spanish at the driving school. I was able to take it in my language, and luckily I passed. The first part has 95 questions worth 1 point each, plus 5 questions worth 2 points each. You need a 90% score to pass. So you have to get 90 points. When they give you the results, they don't tell you what you got wrong or how many points you got. They just tell you if you passed or failed. And when you take the written exam, if you pass, they give you your license that same day. So that same day I took the exam, I passed, and they gave me the license right then and there. Honestly, it was a very rewarding day because it was really long. The thing is, why did it take me 7 months? Well, because you can take the theoretical classes quickly and easily since they're in groups. But for the practical ones, you have to make reservations. And with work and everything going on, I mean, I can't just go at any time I want. And so it took some time, because sometimes I would go a week without any classes, and then the next week I might have 2 classes. And honestly, a lot of people attend, and it's really crazy because it caught my attention. So, besides, everyone who attends the class is young, in their 20s, university students, but I think about 70% of those taking the classes were women. Really crazy. Honestly, I was surprised to see so many girls going to driving classes. But let's get to the point. I never got a driver's license because honestly, living in Tokyo, it seems completely unnecessary to me because of the good public transportation here. And honestly, I got my license just because I felt like it. That's all. I thought, well, maybe someday I'll rent a car and go for a drive, go on vacation somewhere, that's all. It's just that, you see, I never wanted to drive either because driving scares me. And besides, the truth is that Japanese people here drive very responsibly. Traffic violations, getting into an accident and hitting someone is really serious here. You can go to jail if you hit someone. I don't know the details very well, but hitting someone is a very, very, very serious crime. And here there's just no way around it. It's always the driver's fault because the pedestrian is always protected. You must always stop at crosswalks. Look, in driving school, they tell you that you have to roll down the windows to listen for noises. They absolutely make you roll down the whole window. In fact, to park, they also make you roll down the whole window.
To park?
To park. Yeah, I don't know, to park. Who knows? Maybe in case you need to detect some noise or something like that. And then, obviously, I don't plan to buy a car. I'm not interested in having one. Like, if I had one, it would just be an expense, and I'd use it once a month, so I don't plan to buy a car. And honestly, driving does scare me a bit. I don't know why, but it always had, 39 years old. If I haven't gotten my license by now, it's like, oof.
Was the instructor too strict or what?
No, the instructors are actually really nice. No complaints, really, no complaints at all. But it really is something made for people who can communicate in Japanese. Yes, because also every day they assign you a different instructor, or at most I might have had the same instructor twice, but it's incredible because there are 30 driving lessons, and if I had the same person twice, that's about it. But it really was different people every day. And another thing is that you absolutely have to park the cars in a parking lot. I mean, you can stop for a little while, sometimes on the street. Leaving the car isn't common since it costs money. That's why having a car won't help you save money either. Because since there aren't any free parking spots in big cities, you absolutely have to spend money. At the very least, besides gas, you have to pay for parking. And also, if you want to buy a car, before you buy the car, you need to have a place in your name where you can park the car. It has to be no more than 2 kilometers from your house. So first you need the parking spot, then you can buy the car and show the papers that prove you have a place in your name to leave the car. I mean, that's absolutely basic if you want to own a car. Another thing, for example, when you take the final theoretical exam, it's just taking the exam and nothing else. But from what I've been told, when you have to renew your license, that's when they make you watch videos or photos of accidents and all that stuff. Talks. Well, I don't know why, but when they give you the license, well, there was none of that. Look, how beautiful the sakuras. Now we're in Kamakura, but well, just taking a little walk, that's all. But well, in short, it was a bit expensive. It took a lot of time and everything. What for? because, well, I had to. I'm embarrassed to admit that at 39 I didn't have a driver's license, which is why I got one. And maybe, well, I'll rent a car someday with my wife. We said someday maybe rent a camper, a little house on wheels, and travel somewhere, although renting one of these is a bit expensive. But, well, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it's an incentive to go to some places where you can't get by public transport, but that's basically what getting the license is for. It was a long, somewhat expensive and complicated process if you don't know Japanese, but you can take the exams in Spanish. See you next time. Greetings to you, your family, your pet, and your annoying neighbor. Now we're going to crash Jordy's car.